What is up, NASCAR fans? You're watching the Nitro Series on the HSL Diecast Racing Channel. Today we got the Modifieds at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Indy 400. And in the stock race, we had a lot of competitive racing, a surprise winner. It was a great show, and I'm sure what the mods have in store is going to be just as awesome. We've got 8 cars in all but one segment today, 39 cars altogether. That's the most cars there's ever been in a Nitro Series mods race. All but one series regular made the show, and leading them all to the start is going to be our Daytona 500 winner, Heather. Next to her is Gaza, Charlie Verney and Casey Kane, Lord Raymond and Misty G, followed by Gray and Crazy Ruby, and the green flag's flying, the gates are down, and Gaza jumps off to an early lead, a full car length ahead of Heather, thanks to a bump wrap by Casey Kane. Gaza takes this by 2-3 car lengths. Heather in second, Casey Kane in third, Charlie Verney falls back to fourth, Misty G gains a spot and moves up to fifth. Now it's time for lap number 2, and just like the first lap, the outside lane gets the advantage, but this time Gaza's putting up a fight. Heather takes the lead, Gaza spins. Heather's going to lead lap number 2. Charlie Verney takes over second place, beats Casey Kane and Gaza to the line, and now we're past the halfway point already in the first segment. Heather and Charlie are not giving each other an inch. Heading into turn number 1, it's Heather that has the advantage. But look at Gaza clawing his way to the front with brute force, almost takes first place away from Heather. And heading into the final lap, Gaza's going to get a great push from all the heavy cars behind him. Gray takes over from second place after doing nothing all segment. He's making it hard for anyone else to even challenge for the lead. And it's Gaza that takes the first segment. Gray to the seconds race. What a great clean segment of racing. No DNFs, and now we're on fourth segment number 2. We have Christy from G-Force Racing. Next to her is the Owlman. Behind them, Dog Squad Racing's J-Bo and Sparky Racer for Mark Racel. The gates are down. Harry Hoon, William, and the stocks of Nessa Force and Ski Bob, driving for your stock winner Lord Shank, make up the rest of the field. Christy and Owlman side by side heading into turn number 1. Christy gets ahead and throws a block in turn number 2, but cautions out El Reco. Christy takes the second turn too high and ends up on her roof. Owlman and Harry Hoon blast past the wreckage. Everyone else gets caught up in it behind them. J-Bo stays in third. Let's survey the wreckage for any other cars that are on their roofs, and it looks like Nessa Force is on her roof as well. They're both getting towed to the HSL junkyard, where we have our friend from Diecast Racing News interviewing Christy, our outside pole sitter, looking to turn this season around. Had a lot of speed and momentum, but instead, it's a lap 1 DNF. Horrible points day for her. And now it's time for lap number 2. Owlman and Harry Hoon on the front row. Owlman gets a great push from J-Bo. They're still side by side. Harry Hoon's not going down without a fight. And J-Bo slams Harry Hoon into the wall to take second place. That allows Owlman to take a half a track segment lead for lap number 2. And cautions out for another El Reco. This time it's Ski Bob making his channel debut. And this car just won the stocks race with Lord Shank driving, but it's not going to repeat today. Inexperience going up against these mods, but you got to hand it to him. It really takes guts to make your debut against some of these guys in a stock. And the gates are down for lap 3 of this segment, and that extra pusher just launches Harry Hoon and the Owlman straight past J-Bo, and now Sparky Racer's challenging J-Bo for third. But look at this, the field rubber bands coming out of turn 2. Owlman has to block them to maintain the lead. We're going to slow this down for the replay. Coming out of turn number 1, they have half a track segment lead over the rest of the field. But look at J-Bo and Sparky Racer gain all that momentum in turn number 2. J-Bo bump drafts the back of Harry Hoon. They move to the top, try and get past Owlman. The Owlman holds him off by half a car length. It's his first race in this new car after missing the Coca-Cola 600. Looks to be heading to his first career main event as long as he doesn't make a mistake here. The gates are down and he is flying away from the rest of the field. J-Bo bump drafting on his back bumper as they head to the line. The Owlman wins this segment for his first career main event. J-Bo to the seconds race, another great points day for him. And now it's time for segment number 3. And on the front row, we have Po' Boy for Po' Boy Racing and Giorgio for G-Force Racing. Behind them, Mike Honcho and Szechuan Broccoli. Lord Shank, your stock race winner, and Bobby Allison. And the stocks of Far Out J and Gator McCluskey. And the gates are down. It's a tight pack heading down the split track. Giorgio and Po' Boy still side by side. Not much space between first and 8th place. Po' Boy with a half a car length lead over Giorgio throws a block in the turns. And look, here comes Mike Honcho to try and snipe second place away. Let's take a look at the replay. That was a really close finish for second place. Here you see in slow motion Giorgio and Mike Honcho. Mike Honcho has the advantage right there, but Giorgio with his pointed bumper just barely beats Mike Honcho across the line to stay in second place. The gates are down for lap number 2. Gator McCluskey gets a little squirrely, but look at the rest of the field. 4 car lengths between first and 7th. Still side by side. Po' Boy gets the advantage coming out of turn 2. Another close race for third this time. Looks like Mike Honcho got the advantage there over Szechuan Broccoli. And it looks like someone's on the roof. Caution's out. It's Gator McCluskey. They're taking him back to the HSL junkyard. He's got to be disappointed coming off of his first career top 10 finish. Speaking with the media, and now the inside lane's got an extra pusher for lap number 3. And it shows Po Boy and Mike Honcho flying away from the rest of the field. Bobby Allison, after doing nothing the first 2 laps, moves all the way up to 3rd. And Po Boy's just been dominant this segment so far. He's 1 lap away now from going to the main event. He's led all 3 laps so far, and it looks like it's going to be a repeat of the same. And look at him. It's not even the fat track yet. He's already got a 2-3 car length lead over the rest of the field. Bobby Allison moves up to 2nd place, and it's Po Boy that's going to take the segment. Bobby Allison out of nowhere to the 2nds race, and Giorgio to the 3rds. And now it's time for segment number 4. And it's a Ford party. All but 1 car in this segment's a Ford. Leading them off is Burt Buzzard. Next to him, Hurts So Good. In the 2nd row, Elton Sawyer in the only Chevy of Chef Squid, Bill Z. Bub, Puff, Chase Elliott, and Rowan. That makes 4 Thunderbirds, 2 Mustangs, and a Taurus. And the gates are down. Rowan gets caught up in the start gate. And Burt Buzzard flies away from the rest of the flock. He's got a solid lead over the rest of the pack. It's a slugfest behind them. Elton Sawyer finds his way out of the mess and takes away 2nd place from Hurts So Good. Here you can see Rowan jump the start gate, and now he's still in last place. Chef Squid and Puff lose a spot. Bill Z. Bub and Chase Elliott gain a spot. And now the gates are down for lap number 2. Burt Buzzard's flying away from everybody else once again. He's been dominant this segment so far. Bill Bub takes 2nd place away from Elton Sawyer. Chef Squid moves up to 4th. Little Chevy that could fighting back, and there's no sign of Rowan once again. Let's see where he ended up. Yep, he's still on his wheels, just unable to reach the fat track. And he got a top 10 in the stocks race. This time they're making it tough on Burt Buzzard, heading into the fat track, still side by side. Reverse side drafts Bill Z. Bub in between the turns. Ends up gaining a track segment lead on the rest of the field. After Bill throws a block, and Elton Sawyer ends up taking 3rd back. And it looks like Chef Squid got caught up in that mess. He's upside down on the track. Caution's out. El Recco, they're taking him to the HSL junkyard. Or not. I must have forgot to take a picture of him. Anyway, Burt Buzzard running away from the field again. 2 out of the 3 laps so far. He's been dominant. Finishes the segment with more than a track segment lead over the rest of the field. Elton Sawyer takes 2nd place. Puff, challenging for 3rd place, gets body slammed off the track by Bill Z. Bub. He's going to be moving to the 7th and 8th race now. Just horrible luck after that beatdown he delivered in the New Jersey Blizzard Bash. And what a dominant performance that was. It was over before halftime. It was awesome. Links in the description. Now it's time for our final segment of the day. On the pole for this segment is Lucky Jackson. Next to him, Gavin McSpadge. Behind them, 2 previous race winners, Gale Force and Baby Richie. Clyde, who make that 3 race winners, Riot Isaac, and the stock of Charlie. Not to be confused with Charlie Verney. He's already in the 5th race. The gates are down. Gavin and Lucky are side by side for the lead heading into turn number 2. Lucky uses the inside lane to his advantage, gains almost a track segment in that short amount of space. Gavin holds off that stacked field behind him for 2nd place, and Gale Force remains in 3rd after 1 lap. The gates are down for lap number 2. Lucky Jackson, Gale Force flying away from the rest of the field, bump drafting into turn number 1. Clyde gets a little squirrely transitioning onto the fat track, lands on his wheels, but Gavin McSpadge not so lucky. He bends it coming out of turn number 2 as Gale Force takes 2nd place. And Gavin McSpadge has had some really good laps, but some horrible luck later on in the segments. And this race, it's no different. Terrible points day form, especially considering all the clean racing before this. And he gets taken to the junkyard, only the 6th car to DNF so far. 2 laps left in the segment racing. And look at Gale Force, takes the lead from Lucky Jackson. On the outside, she keeps the lead heading into turn number 2. Throws a block on Lucky Jackson. Baby Richie takes 2nd place from him. A horrible lap for Lucky Jackson, goes from dominating all the way down to 3rd place heading into the final lap. Look at Clyde lined up in 5th. He's been unusually quiet this segment. Doesn't seem to have the speed to catch up with Gale Force for whatever reason. Gale Force, Lucky Jackson, and Baby Richie form a train across the finish line. Gale Force, your final segment winner of the day. Lucky Jackson heading back into the 2nds race. And it looks like we're ending the segment racing with another El Recco. This time it's Charlie from the Gimpy Gang. Earned her way into the mods race, but not so much luck today. One of the fastest stocks in the Nitro Series. Will have to watch the placement racing from the junkyard. And this is the 7th and 8th race. That's right, the 7th and 8th race. We've had a couple of segments with no DNFs. Lord Raymond's flying away with the first lap of this. And just like the segment racing, clean racing here. The reason we have a 7th and 8th race. Only 7 DNFs, 32 finishers. That's got to be a record other than the Le Mans drag race, where there really shouldn't be very many DNFs. Lord Raymond running away with this one again, beating his teammate out, Casey Kane, by 2 car lengths to avoid finishing in the 30s. Szechuan Broccoli and Puff round out that segment. Now the gates are already down for the 6th race. Far Out Jay is far and away from the rest of the pack here. Lord Raymond, after starting in last, moves up to 2nd. Lap 1 ends with a clean single file line. Far Out Jay, Lord Raymond, Misty G, and Chase Elliott. And now the gates are down for lap number 2. Far Out Jay and Lord Raymond side by side heading into the fat track. Neither one of them is giving the other an inch. They're both capable of finishing in the top 10. Far Out Jay's going to squeeze Lord Raymond out. Chase Elliott wrecks himself trying to make a miracle happen. And now we're moving on to the 5th race. Charlie Verney gets a great shot from Riot Isaac heading into turn number 1. They're a single file line once again. Awesome, clean racing from everybody. Charlie Verney takes lap number 1. I might have spoke a little too soon. Hurts so good's on his roof. Caution's out. He bins it coming out of turn number 2. Now Charlie Verney's got an extra pusher for lap number 2 of this segment. It's going to be tough to get past him. Far Out Jay bump drafting on his back bumper. And William from Uncle Elvis Racing, your stock points leader, takes over 2nd from him. But it's a little too late to move on. Charlie Verney's your winner of the 5th race. He moves on to the 4th. And in this race, we got Sparky Racer, Mike Honcho, and Clyde. Weird to see him in the 4th race. But he gives Mike Honcho a great shot coming out of the start gate. And caution's out for the big one. We got a jumbled mess in turn number 2. Nobody finished the lap. We got at least 3 cars on their sides and their roofs. And it looks like William and Sparky Racer are the only survivors. We're going to slow this down. Mike Honcho is already on his roof in between the turns. Slows down the rest of the field. William throws a block and slides off the track. Everyone gets collected behind them. In the top of the turn, one of the worst wrecks I've ever seen on the NASCAR Nitro Series. And it's a 2-car race for the 4th race, and it looks like Clyde might have broke a tie rod end or something in that accident because he had trouble getting out of the start gate. Sparky Racer has almost a full lap lead over him. Looks like Clyde is catching up. Doesn't look like it's permanent damage that'll affect how the car runs, but won't be enough to get him into the 3rd race, which will be led down by Heather and Giorgio. Behind them, Baby Richie and Harry Hoon. A lot of great cars in this segment. Bill Z. Bub and Sparky Racer round out the field. One of the biggest mid-pack rivalries that have developed over the course of the season. And Giorgio jumps to the lead from the outside, making his car 2 lanes wide, trying to hold off the Daytona 500 with her. Heather holds her off, and Harry Hoon as well. Harry actually moves up to take 2nd. And now we're going to the final lap of our 4th race. The gates are down, and Giorgio, one of the other finalists in that Blizzard Bash, side by side with Harry Hoon. Heading into turn number 1, it's still anybody's race. Giorgio uses the inside to his advantage. It is so close right now. He throws a block. Giorgio wins the 3rd race, moves on to the 2nd race. It'll be his best career finish so far this year. And we're going to show you this whole lap. They are side by side. 2 car lengths between 1st and 4th place. Look at this. Giorgio doesn't even get any separation until the final stretch. All 3 of these guys wanted it so bad. What an epic lap. Let's see if the 2nd race, being led down by Lucky Jackson and J-Bo, is going to have the same kind of close, tight racing as that last lap. One of those 2 has got to be the favorites, but don't count on any of these other guys either. The gates are down, and the front 4 are glued together. All these guys want it in the worst way. J-Bo and Lucky Jackson side by side still, both on the upswing, looking for their first career win. Only one can get into the main event. Bobby Allison moves up to 3rd. Can he get himself into contention? The gates are down for the final lap. Bobby Allison bump cracking on the back of Lucky Jackson. They're flying away from the rest of the field. Lucky Jackson now with a car length plus lead over Bobby Allison. Bobby Allison takes 2nd place. That's 7th for him because we got 1 fewer segment. Giorgio and Elton Sawyer round out your top 10. First career top 10s for both of them. Now it's what all you've been waiting for. The main event. On the front row, we got Burt Buzzard next to Gaza. The Owlman, both of Po Boys cars, Gale Force, 2 Barora Bangers, 2 for Po Boys Racing. This is going to be a barn burner. The gates are down. Gaz is flying away. Beats out Burt Buzzard on speed and crosses out into the lower lane to block him. You see Po Boy somersault in the middle of the turn. He almost loses it there, recovers and holds on for 4th place. We'll show you this on the replay. He grinds up against the barrier and he enters turn number 2 sideways. And if you look right here, the middle of turn number 2, he ends up back on his wheels. He's in 4th place when he gets turned upside down and doesn't lose a spot. Just 1 lap into this main event, there's already been so much action. Now the gates are down for lap number 2. Burt Buzzard and Gaza side by side once more. First 5 cars all in one tight pack. Gaza squeezes Burt Buzzard up against the wall. He gets turned upside down. Burt Buzzard's on his roof. Caution's out. Major El Recco, a disappointing end for Burt Buzzard. Could have taken the points lead with a win. Now he's going to be settling for 6th place. This is your top 5 finishers for the race. Gale Force got through that mess to take second. Now it's both Barora bangers on the front row. The gates are down for lap number 3. And now this time it's the Owlman that pushes Gaza ahead of everybody. Field falls into a single file line between the turns. Owlman makes a move for the lead, but Gaza holds on to recover heading into the final lap. Gaza 1 lap away from his first career Nitro Series victory. He holds the record for the most second-place finishes without a win. Can he seal the deal today? Look at him just drop the hammer right out of the gate. He couldn't ask for a better start. Takes turn 1, still with the lead. If he doesn't bin it here, it's all his. Gaza takes the checkered flag. Lucky Jackson second. Po-Boy third for his first career podium. And now Lucky Jackson with that second-place finish. It's his second. He now holds the record for most second-place finishes without a win. Gaza passing that torch along, finally in victory lane. Congratulations to Gaza, dominated his segment, took the lead from the outside on lap 1 in the main event, and didn't look back at all. Congratulations to Po-Boy getting both of your cars on the podium. And all the other builders, 32 cars finished their segments. Only 7 DNFs in the segment racing. That's a record outside of Le Mans where it's a straight track. And just great, clean, competitive racing all around. Congratulations to everybody that sent in a car, but especially to the Barora Bangers and Po-Boy Racing. As you'll see in the race results, 4 out of the top 5 is the Barora Bangers and Po-Boy. Gaza, Gale Force, Lucky Jackson, and Po-Boy. Owlman's 4th place, his best career finish as well. Burt Buzzard in 6th. Gained some points on the leader. A bittersweet day for him. Could have taken the lead had he finished 1st or 2nd. Bobby Allison and J-Bo, congratulations to Giorgio and Elton Sawyer, your first career top 10 finishes. And Gray salvaged an 11th place finish, a set trip to the seconds race after almost DNQing. Harry Hoon in 12th. Heather, our Daytona 500 winner. Giorgio winning the thirds race like that, beating out Heather and Baby Richie. Harry Hoon, that was a pretty stacked thirds race. Sparky Racer and Bill Z. Bub finishing within 1 position again. Clyde, your points leader, all the way down to 17th. An unusually bad day for him. Rowan in 19th, your highest finishing stock. Hurts So Good beats out Szechuan Broccoli for the highest finishing Go Birds car. And 32 cars managed to finish their segments. Great clean racing from everybody. Puff, a tough break for him after dominating on the Portillo Racing Entertainment New Jersey Blizzard Bash. There's going to be a link to that video in the description. A lot of familiar names from this series. Took their off-road trucks to New Jersey to race in the snow. It was a great fun race for everybody. And that's inspired me to change up one of the later races in the schedule. Race number 11, the last race before the season finale. It's going to be held at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, so keep an eye out for that. And here are your updated modified standings after today's race. Burt Buzzard closing in on Clyde, only 15 points behind. Could have taken the lead with 1st or 2nd, tied it with 3rd. Lucky Jackson stays in 3rd place in the points with his podium finish. Gale Force moves back up to 4th, getting a top 5. Gray stays in 5th. Po-Boy, Harry Hoon, Misty G, Lord Raymond, and Puff round out the top 10. Only 102 points separate 4th place from 10th. And if you look at the next panel of points here, J-Bo with 853, trying to work his way into the top 10 as well. Gaza moves up to 12th. He had been in a free fall in the point standing since his DNF at Martinsville, and that victory moved him back into top 10 contention. Riot Isaac seems to have expended all of his juice in the All-Star race. He fell out of the top 10. Heather, Charlie Verney, William, Elton Sawyer, Baby Richie, Sparky Racer, Bobby Allison in the top 20 now with his top 10 finish. Owlman moves up to 25th. Chase Elliott driving the McDonald's twins cars, whichever one finishes higher. He is the highest ranked stock. He's got a 130-point lead over Skeeter Davis now. And Hurts So Good takes a 2-point lead over Szechuan Broccoli for the Eagle of the Year award. Chef Squid in last place out of the full-time entries. You know, Skeeter Davis far out. Here's the rest of the point standings. Most of these guys are stocks. Finished well enough in the stock races, got to attempt to qualify for the mods race. Nessa Force takes over last place in points from Rowdy Bush due to her first lap DNF. But her and Ski Bob and Gator McCluskey might be able to get into another race and put Rowdy Bush back into last place. Who knows what's going to happen? We still got a ton of racing to go, and it's just starting to heat up. And as always, hit that like button, leave a comment, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe. We'll see you out there on the track.